NBC Sports welcomes you to the 2025 World Gymnastics Championships. We are now just under 1,000 days until we will be in LA for the 2028 Olympic Games. But right now we are in Jakarta, Indonesia. For the first time in history, the World Gymnastics Championships are being held in Indonesia. This is the 2025 version, and it is going to be a good one today as we get ready for the men's all-around finals. Hello everyone, I'm John Roethlisberger, joined by Olympic champion Tim Daggett, of course, and we are set for what looks to be a great competition at the Indonesia arena as they get ready to warm up, and even before the first routine has been competed here. We have some controversy. Just over a week prior to competition, the government of Indonesia, in a move it said was, quote, in line with Indonesia's commitment to supporting Palestinian independence, rejected visas for the Israeli gymnasts who had earned the right to compete here. The International Gymnastics Federation said in a statement that it took note of the decision to ban Israel but did not pull the championships from Indonesia. Israel's Gymnastics Federation, which called the ban outrageous, appealed, seeking a path for its gymnasts to compete here, but those efforts were denied. On Friday, the International Olympic Committee, which has no official role in this event but had tried to broker a resolution, said this in part, in quote, the IOC's principal position is very clear. All eligible athletes, teams, and sports officials must be able to participate in international sports competitions and events without any form of discrimination from the host country, in accordance with the Olympic Charter and the fundamental principles of non-discrimination, autonomy, and political neutrality that govern the Olympic movement. It is therefore the direct responsibility of the host country, the organizer, and the sports organizations directly concerned to make sure that this principle is fully respected and that all necessary assurances are provided by the relevant authorities of the host country in advance. This position has been reiterated by the IOC on numerous occasions over the years. The IOC very much regrets the situation, especially after the remarkable step towards a peace agreement at the Peace Summit in Egypt, as witnessed by the President of Indonesia. The IOC Executive Board will discuss the specific situation of Indonesia for all stakeholders involved at its next meeting. Sport must remain a safe space for athletes to fulfill their dreams, and athletes must not be held responsible for political decisions, close quote. So today's men's all-around marks the first day of finals here in Indonesia. Women's all-around finals tomorrow, and individual apparatus finals set for the rest of the week. But right now, we are looking at Daiki Hashimoto, two-time world all-around champion. Tim, looking to get 3 in a row. First time since his teammate Kohei Uchimura did that.
Yeah, unbelievable. And he is, without question, one of the best gymnasts in the world. I would say there are 3 competing today. His teammate Oka, as well as Zhang Boheng from China. They are the front runners.
And front runners in that we have the last 2 world all-around champions and the most recent Olympic all-around champion. You couldn't ask for a better stage right here. Who's going to be the top dog heading into this new Olympic quadrennium?
Start out with a combination tumbling run. Very well done. Beautiful. Full twisting double layout. Hashimoto has been kind of complaining a little bit about how early everything was happening in Jakarta. He said he got up at 4 a.m., 6 hours before the start of his competition for the qualifying. It worked, John.
Come on, though. You're Hashimoto. Let's go. Just get up. You're a champion. You're a world champion, Olympic champion. You can't be telling me you're tired in the morning.
So far, very good routine. Here's a new wrinkle, a balance skill. Many athletes are using it. You can fulfill the requirement different ways, though. Double pike somersault and a great landing. Maybe chest down a little bit, but perfect stick. And, you know, after every Olympic Games, they changed the rules of gymnastics, and that skill right there got changed, upgraded in difficulty value.
So great start for the top qualifier in the all-around, Daiki Hashimoto, as we now go over to pommel horse, as we see Shatong from China starts his competition here.
He is a very accomplished young man.
Third appearance at a World Championships for Tong.
Staying on one pommel like that, very valuable. Judges are looking for a nice rhythm, and they're looking for something. He doesn't do that well there. He is a little bit tilted on his circle. We call it skewed in gymnastics, but he survives that one.
And that's what you got to, if you're starting on horse, you just got to hit. You got to stay on first and foremost, and he did that.
If he has a good day, he will undoubtedly be in the hunt for a medal. So you have to keep your body as extended as possible. You want your hips way above the pommels. As you see, he is just brushing that right there. Judges, take note.
Three-time world medalist, won a bronze on the parallel bars in 2021, 2023, silver with the team, and another silver on parallel bars. Tough to win gold on parallel bars these days. His teammate Jing Yuan is as dominant on that event as I have seen any gymnast on any event in my lifetime. So winning silver there is no small feat. Now we move over to the rings. Shinosuke Oka now from Japan, the Olympic all-around champion. Surprised some people. Did not surprise Tim Daggett, though. I will go full disclosure. Tim said, look out for this guy prior to the Paris Olympics, and he delivered. But he did say, Tim, coming here, he goes, I don't want to be looked at as a one-hit wonder. I want people to know that I am for real, and here is his chance to prove it.
Actually struggled quite a bit in the qualifying rounds, had a disastrous floor exercise and came off the high bar as well.
Did say he wasn't feeling well, said he had a little bit of an illness, felt sluggish, but he'll have to get it together here if he wants to move up, finish 12th in that qualifying. So
looking pretty good. I would say he's gotten a little bit stronger, has dealt with some back issues and problems. Dismount. Everybody's doing that nowadays, and
not everybody's doing that, Tim.
Wow, that was spectacular. Double twisting, double laid out somersault, and he stuck it in the new rules. Like I said, every Olympic Games, they change the rules a little bit. You stick a dismount, you get an extra 10th of a point bonus.
And he absolutely, like a dart. Hashimoto score 13.9 to start off, an improvement from his qualification round on that event, Tim.
Yeah, he struggled on floor exercise as well, only scored a 12.3.
So now we're going to take a look at Daniel Marinov. He is an athlete from Russia, is competing as an individual neutral athlete at these World Championships per FIG protocol.
Everything on floor is about the landings, minimizing the landing deductions. Had at least a 1/10 deduction on the first one. That one right there, that'll be 3/10 of a point, that step. If the step is less than 1 foot, the judges have the ability to only deduct 1/10, but they usually take 3, John, as we know.
Yeah, and I think if you're watching at home, you got to understand there's rarely a landing without some kind of deduction, and then if they take a step, it's rarely that 1/10. It's a tough spot to land clean and have no deductions to that score.
Virtually every pass has had that 3/10 deduction on landings. It's a very good routine, though. It's just the rules are so tough. Once again, that double pike somersault upgraded.
And keep in mind, too, we had mentioned where these athletes qualified into these all-around finals. It's a clean slate. So we talked about Shinosuke on rings and qualifying 12th. That doesn't matter. It's a clean slate here today.
Combination tumbling runs. You add one skill right into another. Gives you a little bit of extra bonus as well.
Marinov's first year competing internationally after being approved as a neutral athlete. Shatong, a 13.5 for that pommel horse routine.
Yeah, that's a good score for him.
So clean gymnastics so far through the first few routines. Again, all 6 events. Total is added up. That is your all-around champion. We have seen in the past gymnasts have breaks and still land on that medal podium, but you don't want to do it with a field as tough as this one, especially at the top with the last 2 world championships, the last Olympic champion. Feels like you're going to have to be on all 6 events if you want to win the all-around gold. Now from Switzerland, Florian Launenegger starts his competition on the pommel horse as well.
Competed in Paris and was 16th in the all-around. Actually, pretty nice swing. You see his hips are a little bit higher than we saw from Shitang of China, but a little bit of rhythm break. Pretty square on that skill. Oh boy, and a little bit of a hesitation and got a little funky at the end on that dismount. I sound critical, John, but
you are critical, Tim.
As you know, the judges are just as critical.
They are more critical, if you can believe that. 14.066 for Shinosuke. That is a tremendous start for him on rings. Doesn't look like that illness through one routine, Tim, is slowing him down. Big improvement from qualification day. Marinov on floor, a 13.733, also an improvement.
Yeah, so far no falls at all.
Zhang Boheng will be the next gymnast to go here in this all-around from China. He is the 2021 World All-Around Champion, and the guy a lot of people thought was going to leave Paris with that all-around gold medal, but he left Paris with no gold medals. Devastating for him with so many high expectations at those games.
Yeah, he just did not get the job done. My opinion, though, if everybody had gone to Paris and done what they were capable of, he would have won, and I think he would have won easily. And not just in the all-around. Team China was so phenomenal. Stacked to the max, and they just folded on their last event, high bar. It was breathtakingly awful.
It was hard to watch. Whether you're a fan of the Chinese team or not, you knew the meltdown was happening right before your eyes, and they were just crushed.
Yeah, after halfway through the competition, and even at the beginning of the last rotation, it was like, well, China's going to win. No way Japan can do it, but just really, really rough time. A lot of double pikes on floor exercise.
Feel like we've gone back in time a little bit. And you mentioned the scale, a new wrinkle with the scale. That's a new old wrinkle. You and I did a lot of those scales, Tim. They've brought it back in some respect, at least.
Yeah, I competed this right here, too. Double pike.
Did you point your toes like that when you did it?
Not quite. And I was about 3.5 feet lower, John.
That's being generous, Tim. Launenegger, a 13.4, so a little trouble on that dismount, but still not a bad score to start with.
Yeah, they actually were a little bit easier than I thought they would be because of that dismount.
So now staying over at the pommel horse, Angel Barajas. from Colombia, and maybe overstating it, but maybe not, Tim. One of the most exciting young gymnasts to watch on the international stage.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he just was a phenom in his first Olympics. 17 years old in Paris, turned 18 the last day of the games. Won an unprecedented silver medal for Colombia. First gymnastics medal at the Olympic Games for that country. But he is a talent, has the ability to do so much difficulty, but way off.
What a save, though.
And a struggle up to the handstand. This is not really where he stands out. He's a very good all-arounder, but he's phenomenal on parallel bars and high bar.
Zhang Bohong, 13.6 for that effort on floor exercise. Yeah, Angel Barajas, you mentioned, a good all-arounder, qualified into these all-around finals in the 6th spot. Didn't make the high bar finals, which I know gymnastics fans around the world are very disappointed not to see him in that final. So this is his only chance at a medal. Going to have to really perform lights out parallel bar finals as well. He's got a chance there, and his specialty, he will not have a opportunity as of right now.
I believe he's the first reserve, and I don't want to see anyone get hurt, but I'll tell you, he has been doing a routine on high bar that is unthinkable.
This is Noé Seifert from Switzerland, qualified in the 2nd spot. Tim, surprised some people, I think, coming into these all-around finals.
Just about a half a point off of the leader. A meteoric rise in the rankings for him. I'm sure he's a very confident young man, but if you had said after qualifying, you're going to be in 2nd, I don't know. I would imagine he would say, that would be wonderful, but, you know, dreams aren't reality, but he made it one.
And he finished 8th in the all-around at the 2023 World, so he's not totally unfamiliar with being in that top 10, but this would be a big career-changing accomplishment if he can get on the podium here.
Another rule change is the men. Oh, hold on to it, and he does. So no deduction for steps on the landing, and remember that 1/10 of a point stick bonus as well.
Are you deducting for the sway, though, Tim, when he lands? He kind of has that lean.
Well, for me right there, that is 0 deductions, but I do not have a pen and piece of paper. I'm not sitting in Indonesia right now making that call.
I would bet all of your money, Tim, that there was a deduction on somebody's paper. 13-3 for Barajas for that pommel horse routine. Our first look at vault here in this first rotation. This is Timo Ader from Germany.
Believe he does a 2.5 twist. And yeah, I think he did that in qualifying too. He was just, you know, not the most difficult vault you'll see today. This is a Kasamatsu with 1.5 twists, so it's a total 2.5 twists, 2 flips. See those legs apart as he hits the table. The judges are looking for that deduction because it is so hard to keep those together, but see the lines? He looks like he's in. The line is in gymnastics, not out.
That is a perfect landing, only 3/10 in deductions. Yeah, that is his senior world championship debut for Ader. He competed in Paris as well. German team had some injuries to some of their top athletes there. Unfortunately, didn't finish where they wanted to. Finish 11th as a team, typically much higher than that. Staying on the vault now with Anthony Manzard from France.
And you see that DV 4.8. That's the maximum he can get. You add the execution 10.0 to it. So his max is a 14.8, what we just saw.
Anthony finished 4th in the all-around at the recent European Championship, so certainly capable.
Another very nice landing. I would say this one was a little cleaner. You know, let's take a look at from the board to the table. Are the legs together? They're not together, but certainly much better. Spots the ground over his shoulder right there.
And a 9-2 execution. You saw the score bottom right there. Got him a 14 even. You know, you get in the 9s on execution. Vault tends to be a little bit higher if you're clean. But in the 9s is a very good execution score. Seifert a 13.866 for his first routine. Keep in mind, no Americans in this all-around final. Unfortunately, Asher Hong for the United States injured his ankle in training, did not compete in the all-around. He would have had a great shot, I think, at an all-around medal. We will see numerous Americans throughout the event finals with great chances to get on, not just on the podium, Tim, I think on top of the podium on a few of those events.
Yeah, I was devastated for Asher Hong. He jammed his ankle on a double front right as he was warming up for the competition.
This is Yoel Plata from Spain. This is from this first rotation.
Had a very serious injury outside of gymnastics, was in a car wreck along with other teammates and coaches. Tire blew. The van rolled several times. Broken femur. That femur looks pretty good right now, though, John.
And he's a great gymnast, too, and that almost ended his gymnastics career. But he came back after that, competed in Paris at the Olympics. That it was his second Olympic Games. This is his 6th World Championships. That's what they call a veteran in the business.
Beautiful double front with a half turn. Very nicely done.
13.8 to begin Plata's all-around final competition, as the gymnasts have moved to the second rotation warm-up, getting ready for that second event. As we look at the standings after rotation 1, Shinosuke with that tremendous ring routine in that top spot. We see the French gymnast right behind him. Thoughts on that first rotation? What stood out to you, Tim?
Well, you know, the thing you got to remember is they're competing on 6 different events, and some of the events they score a little bit higher. Some of them are a little bit harder to get a bigger score, so it's really difficult to look at the scoring until we get 3 or 4 rotations into it to have an idea of who's really doing all that well.
A long way to go. Just 1 rotation of 6 done. They head to the second. A lot of great gymnastics to come here in this men's all-around final from Jakarta, Indonesia. More about this judging score system later on in the competition, but this is already an impression of what this fantastic system does. So a walk back to the legs followed by All-Star and Ashimoto. For what it's worth, after just 1 rotation. Gymnastics, 30 more seconds. Gymnastics is the end of your walk. here, rotation 2, men's all-around finals, Daniel Marinoff. Started off solid on the floor exercise in that first rotation. He's currently sitting in the 7th spot.
And he says that he's not a big fan of pommel horse. It's his weakest event, and he adopted a new strategy a couple of years ago, saying, I gotta praise the horse. I gotta tell the horse that he's not gonna buck me off. I just be a little bit nicer to him. He says it's working a little bit.
You gotta talk to the horse. You know, go up there, make it your friend. You were pretty good on horse from what I remember, Tim. Didn't you win one of those medal things at the Olympics on that event?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Some people are into those medals. I never was, personally. Here we go with Shinosuke, your leader after one rotation. And if he just lands on his feet here, Tim, he should stay in that spot. Higher scoring event is the vault.
Oh, boy. And that was a costly second hop, because that was at least a 3/10 hop. It was good. He does not have the same level of difficulty. Starts 4/10 lower than, and that right there, that 5.2, I don't believe that's correct. It's supposed to be a 4.8. We'll see when he gets his score.
Yeah, the same vault we saw in that first rotation.
So hopefully the judges catch that. His teammate, Daike Hashimoto and Jungbo Hung, are both doing a 5.2 vault.
Anthony Mansard from France now moves over to the parallel bar. Started on vault, which put him in that second spot. But again, vault, a slightly higher scoring event in men's gymnastics. So you got to keep that in mind as the athletes are going through the rotations. If they still have vault yet to come, you got to think that could bump their standings. If they've already done it, they may be a little higher than they'd end up later in the rotation.
Another rule change is, in the past, the men had to do 10 different elements in their routine. The women had changed a while back to 8 elements, and the men followed their lead. A lot of that reasoning, safety-wise, just seeing too much difficulty and maybe too many injuries.
Another stuck landing on that parallel bar routine. Marinoff on pommel horse. Score 13.6 is all around total there at the bottom, currently in that second spot, but a lot to go here yet in this second rotation. Jungbo Hung gets his chance now on the pommel horse. Started off on floor exercise with a 13.6.
And he really does not have a weakness. Some of the top athletes, Daike Hashimoto on his next event, still rings nowhere near as strong as this guy right here. Just needs to be clean. Nice look so far.
Great speed on his circles.
Little bit low, kind of clipped one of those pommels just a bit. Well, very strong routine. Not a lot of super noticeable deductions. There were just a couple of little things throughout. Like right here, his hands should be completely parallel at the start of that, and they're not. The judges will take a deduction. That was a great fight right there. And you see, he did hit his legs on the pommel because of that fight.
And that really the biggest break of his routine, which will cost him a few tenths. Though the score, 13.466, Tim, that's low. You said it on the landing. He gave away quite a few tenths there on a spot really where he shouldn't.
No,
he needs those.
Yeah, he literally gave that away. Glad to see the judges were on top of the ball and didn't give them the score that he had posted.
Florian Lanenegger started on pommel horse, 13-4 there, now over to the still rings.
And when you see a gymnast on still rings start out with 2 strength parts like that, in a competition at this level, you know he's not physically like super strong like some of the other athletes that we're gonna see, and that's where you get most of the bonus. It's a nice, clean routine. The problem is he's gonna start 1.5 points lower than everybody else that's in contention for a medal in the all-around.
Yeah, you go up in a routine like that, just minimize those errors on the execution side. Hit clean, he did that, but certainly starting behind the 8 ball a little bit on this event in particular.
Nice double twisting, double somersault. That should possibly be a 1/10 hop. Less than a foot, I would say.
3rd World Championships for Lana Ega from Switzerland. 14th was his best finish in the all-around at the World Championships. Did that in 2023. Certainly looking to make a big improvement on that here at these World Championships. Always interesting, the World Championships after an Olympic Games, Tim. You have everybody peaking for those Olympics the year prior. Then it's a little bit of a reset. Yeah, we got some of the familiar faces like Zhang Bohong, who just put up that 13.7 on pommel horse, Daiki Hashimoto, of course the Olympic champion Shinosuke, but a lot of new faces, and I like to say an opportunity for somebody to make a statement and get on that podium when maybe the guard is down from the rest of the world.
Absolutely. You also have athletes that were super successful at the Olympic Games. Their lives changed dramatically. They have so many different opportunities. They're pulled in different directions. So sometimes those guys come to the next World Championships and they're not quite as sharp.
Noe Seifert from Switzerland now on horse.
Very tight legs, good form. Not quite the, oh boy, and such a tricky skill going up to a handstand, coming back down. You can, if you're a gymnast, you know what he's feeling, and it's a little bit of terror.
Panic. Panic was the word I was going to go with.
Yeah.
But he handles it.
Yes, he does.
Seifert, he's for real, Tim. He's putting himself in the hunt for an all-around medal.
Yeah, this is unbelievable how well he did in day 1, and now 2 good, solid routines, and not just himself, but a countryman also in the all-around finals, 2 of them, the max that they can have.
Swiss team won silver at the recent European Championships, and Noe finished 6th in the all-around there. So the Swiss team is for real. They've looked good the past few years internationally, and now they're trying to get on that medal podium here in the all-around finals at these World Championships. Anthony Mansard, 13.466 for that parallel bar routine we saw a few moments ago, currently puts him in the 2nd spot.
A lot of gymnastics still to go, though, that's for sure. Not just, you know, through the other events, but we're somewhat early in this rotation still.
Lanenegger, you saw his score there. You saw the low start value, but you saw the high execution score, an 8.7 on execution. So he did his game plan. Unfortunately, going to have to eventually get that difficulty up if he wants to hang with the big dogs there. Angel Barajas from Colombia again, now here on the still rings.
He scored a 12.866 in the qualifying round. And I've been watching him on social media, trying to develop the strength to do that mount. And I gotta say that it's gotten better. He's certainly gonna get some deductions for it, but he doesn't seem like a naturally super strong kid in these strength static holds, but it's come a long way. When I first saw him doing it, I was like, I don't know if that's gonna fly. Nice dismount. Double twisting, double somersault. Had a little bit of bend in his hips though, which the judges are looking for straight body.
14 even for Seifert on pommel horse. Tremendous there. Currently puts him in the top spot.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, there were like basically close to no 14s in qualification for the all-around.
Daiki Hashimoto, second after that first rotation with a 14. Oh, that's the first 14 on pommel horse. Obviously early yet in this competition, but that's notable for Seifert.
Daiki went 14-1 and change in qualification.
Big hurdle here for Daiki. Gets through this. This is big.
Good extension, little bit funky though, but deals with it very well. And another little bit of a pike. And yikes. Started phenomenally. Wow, fantastic dismount. He's still going to get a very good score, but he handed away, I would say, about 4/10 of a point in that routine. Just some funky body positions.
I think 4/10 of a point. For once, Tim, you're not being overly critical. I think it could be more than that.
Yeah, it could be, yes. Right here, he gets really funky, but don't get to see the end of that.
I mean, that was savvy, though. I mean, there's a lot of guys that aren't staying on the horse there. There was a couple of moments on that one pommel that he was definitely a little bit off, and then certainly on that travel skill. It easily could have been a fall, 1-point fall. But the veteran, savvy veteran, I will say, handles it. Angel Barajas, a 12.933. So a little lower score in event, Tim, you mentioned it. Not quite as strong as some of the other athletes there, but he's got some high flying events coming up.
Yes, he does.
Shatong now moves to the still rings. 13.5 for his pommel horse routine. First rotation, put him in the top 10.
So every strength move has to be held for 2 full seconds. Good Maltese right there. And you see, right off the bat, if you want a bigger score, you got to do these very challenging strength parts, and you got to do a lot of them. His are very good, but they're not perfect. I've not seen one that would get no deduction. A little bit of a handstand adjustment. Oh, but that was
beautiful.
Gosh, just, you know, I mean, 5 years ago, there were 2 people in the world that were doing that dismount. And now it's like everybody and their brother can do 2 flips, 2 twists, and keep their body completely stretched. So you see right there, a little bit high, and look at his wrists on the rings. That's called a false grip, and that's another deduction. Very good, but not great.
Daiki Hashimoto, a 13.966, so not the score that he got in the qualifications. He was a little higher then, but that's a win for him. That's still a pretty darn good score. They might have just had the 4/10 you mentioned, Tim. They could have easily taken more. I wouldn't have been surprised if that was in the mid-13s, honestly. Moving over to the vault, our first look at the Korean, Ryu Sung-hyun.
And once again, you see that DV 5.2. That's the much more difficult vault. Let's see if he pulls it off. Oh, and I would say not. Huge step off to the side. This is a handspring front. Oh, actually,
he did get the start value, but
yes, he did.
Almost didn't pull off the actual vault there. And Shinosuke just backing up to Shinosuke's vault where he put up that 5.2. The judges did give him a 4.8 start value. Maybe a little gamesmanship there. Maybe they didn't notice that one less twist. We're not sure. Now our first look at the Australian, Jesse Moore. Started off on the parallel bars. Here he is on the horizontal bar.
Handstands are critical. That was fantastic and a great combination right there. Just super back to back to back. Big release right here, good flight. I'll tell you what, this exercise, deduction-wise, pretty darn good right here. Stick the landing. That was spectacular, my book.
Just making his World Championships debut.
Beautiful height on this laid out reverse hack. That was 3 really tricky skills in a row. And done just so well.
Jesse made his Olympic debut in Paris last year, finished 21st in the all-around there. So his goals coming into these Worlds, it's always to win a medal. Shatong, as he's over getting ready for his next event, the vault. There's his score on the previous apparatus, the 13.466. Hit him on that handstand position, Tim, clearly.
Absolutely.
The second rotation is in the books. Daiki Hashimoto, he moves into that top spot despite a few errors on the pommel horse, makes it happen. Nohei Seifert, the Swiss gymnast, is in that second spot, and Shinosuke, the all-around champion from Paris, sits in the third spot after 2. So what do you think, Tim?
He should crush Daiki by over a point.
But will he move ahead of Shinosuke? Shinosuke goes to parallel bars, and he's already got a lead on Jang Bo Hung of a couple of tenths. Bo Hung got a 14.6 on rings and qualifications, and Shinosuke
14.533.
Be interesting.
Yeah.
Almost certainly going to have a lead change, though, I would guess. What did Hashimoto get in?
Yes.
Qualifications of 13.4.
Yep. Wow, this is really fast.
Yeah, these warm-ups are fast as we're.
But it's like there's only 4 guys that are competing instead of 6, which is typical. And
Welcome back. Here we are back in the third rotation, the beginning of the third rotation, and Jang Bo Hung, 7th place after 2, Tim, but this a great event for him, chance to move up big time in the standings.
absolutely, and not just this event, but then he goes to vault where he's phenomenal as well. He is one of the strongest all-arounders in the world, if not the strongest. Just incredibly difficult strength parts and done flawlessly. Here's another beautiful backup rise to a legs together plunge. Really can distance himself. And with a stick landing. Yikes, look out, he is on a roll now.
He wants that all-around title back. Won it in 2021 again, but relinquished it to Daiki Hashimoto the next 2 years, and you know that does not sit well with him. Jesse Moore now from Australia moves over to the floor exercise, sitting in 4th.
Very nice. Nice flare work. Once again, here is that scale that has been brought back. You don't necessarily have to do one. Most of the athletes are. There are some other artistic type elements you can use.
What do you think about the scale coming back?
Well, I don't think it was what their intent was. And they being the people that make the rules. Oh boy, that was narrowly stayed on his feet, almost sat down. I don't love just the scale. I would like to see some better creativity in the corners. In the finals, we'll see Yulo, who's the Olympic champion, and I like what he's done with it, the interpretation that he's used.
Another 14-6 for Zhang Bohong puts him in the top spot. Currently, a lot of athletes yet to go here in this 3rd rotation. It's funny, you know, you and I grew up doing scales. It was in the compulsories. People probably are like, compulsories, what are those? That's when everybody does the same routine. And it is funny to me because when these athletes, a lot of them felt they had to do the scale early on in this season, they couldn't do the scale
At all.
it was so interesting, and we're talking great athletes.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting thing to see happen.
Very surprising to me, though, because when they were young kids, they definitely had to do them, you know, not just in most likely routines, but also in just basics that every gymnast all over the world does.
Noe Seifert from Switzerland, 2nd after the last rotation. Double-double, hits that ring, but handles it.
Doing a great job, doing his job, that's for sure. Once again, doesn't have the super difficult strength parts that'll bring in the high difficulty value, but...
Are you trying to tell me he's not going to knock your socks off, Tim, but he's going to go out there and hit and be consistent? 13-4, 6-6 for more.
Yeah, solid.
Just 22 years old. A lot of gymnastics ahead for that young man. Another look at the other Swiss gymnast, Langenegger. 18th, dropped significantly after that ring routine in the last rotation, but some chances to move up here for him.
And could do a little bit of that. Yurchenko, the first one we've seen, the half turn or a round off onto the board. Pretty good block. Not bad form, but you see the knees are just a little bit bent. Fights for that landing.
Ooh, the big toe. I hope he clipped his toenails. On the line is in. It's like tennis. So if he's on the line, it's in. He goes over the line. It's a 10th off for 1 foot. Both feet out is 3/10 as we see that 13.066 from Seifert. This is where it gets a little bit interesting. We saw Zhang Bohong put up that huge 14.6. This, the weakest event for Daiki Hashimoto. Can he squeeze enough out of it to keep himself close enough so he can move back, hopefully for him, into that top spot in the next 3 rotations where he's tremendous?
I would say best case scenario for him would be to lose to Zhang Bohong by a clean 1.0.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a win.
That's a win.
Doesn't sound
for
like
him.
a win.
Yeah. See his strength part? Pretty good. And that was pretty darn good.
Not bad.
Right there, though, definitely way too high of a starting position on that cross. Very nice swing.
A stuck landing would go a long way to keeping it within a point. Almost has to.
Oh. And once again, that same dismount that no one could do a few years ago. Everybody, that double twisting, double layout.
Interesting, though. Here, you be the judge, Tim, because I think people will be shocked in how much off on that.
Yeah, a lot. That's probably going to be in total for the dismount, probably around 6/10 off.
And that is just, it's shocking. And the reason his shoulder is tremendously low, obviously he took that hop as well, but we shall see. I'm curious to see if he stays within a point of Bo Hung as Barajas now takes his turn on vault. Chance for him now. Got through pommel horse and rings. Can he move up in the standings? High bar again coming up later for him. Tremendous.
Another Yurchenko style vault, and oh, baby. You know, those vaults that you land facing away from the table are so tricky for landing. If you really go for it, it's so easy to sit down, and he is devastatingly close to having it be a disaster, but is able to hang on. Of course, you step over that line, it's another 1/10 of a point deduction.
Timo Eder now on horizontal bar for Germany. 8th place after that previous rotation.
Very nicely done. Oh, baby, that was fingertips. Just barely got his hands back on the bar. Another big release right here. Looking for a handstand right there, and they don't give him that. I don't know what kind of performance would merit one. His dismount, triple somersault, seeing a lot of this. After the rule changes, they raised the value of triples. They also did another very complicated thing with dismounts that they have already undone, but not until January of 26.
That'll be on the podcast. We'll break that down. It takes a gymnastics scoring.
We need some graphics for that.
Yeah, not a simple thing. 13.566, by the way, for Hashimoto, and that is just outside of 1 point behind the score of Zhang Bohong on the still ring. So, Tim, you called it. Still probably a win for Hashimoto.
Very basic strength parts.
Don't see that back lever too much anymore. Daniel Marinoff on rings.
Nice landing. He'll get a stuck. Bonus point for that, 1/10. But boy, that routine, that was about as short as you can get, and not a lot of difficulty.
The two-time Russian all-around champion. Has dual citizenship, does Marinoff, between Bulgaria and Russia, but wants to compete for Russia.
Yeah, he says he has no desire at all. He almost says even if Russia is unable to compete, he won't switch.
Now Shinosuke Oka on the parallel bars. Tremendous here. We talked about his parallel bar routine coming into this rotation. This is an opportunity for him to move up as well, ahead of his teammate, Hashimoto.
I would say that's very doable if he is his typical self. Nice height right here.
Had the second highest score out of all the gymnasts in the qualification on this event.
Oof. Very nicely done. Now back into the middle. That's tremendous. This is a fabulous routine. Just the dismount, put it to his feet with a stick. Wow.
He is going to move up. It's just a matter of how much. Ader, a 13.533 for that horizontal bar score. But you were about to see what really frustrates me about gymnastics scoring, and I'm going to wait till Shinosuke's score comes up, because there was virtually no deductions in that in my eyes, but we're going to see what the judges do, because I have a feeling they're going to see it differently.
They're going to see a point, John.
They are, and it's going to make me really frustrated as we see Mansard from France get ready for horizontal bar. I think that is one of the problems with gymnastics and why people watching get so frustrated, and I get frustrated, is a visually perfect routine should score as though it was perfect or more perfect than they're judging it, in my opinion.
Like right there, that was an error. He did not come close to the handstand. That one right also in combination, nicely done. Another double flip with a full twist. That one's called a Cassina, named after the great Italian champion, Olympic champion. Little hop on the landing, but an excellent routine. Just that one handstand in the beginning was a little bit rough. At least 3, maybe 5 off on it.
12-2 for Marinov. You can see just a 3-1 difficulty score with a 9-0 execution score. So certainly he delivered. He did his routine as well as he can, but not going to score big. 14-6. So a point off. We said it. You said it was a point off. I thought it would be a point off, and that's just wrong. That's not right.
No.
That is absolutely incorrect how they judge that routine. Shatong now on the vault from China.
Same vault we've seen many times. Oh, no, not at all. Handspring double front. Thought he was doing the Kasamatsu vault. Same value, though. Maximum of a 14.8. 3 times around. This used to be state-of-the-art. And in 2025, it's not.
It still should be in my book. That is a lot of gymnastics. From the time you're running on that runway to flip your body over 3 times and then land as well as he did, it still boggles my mind. Probably boggles my mind because I actually tried that in a pit a few times, and it wasn't really a very pretty sight. Caio Souza from Brazil now, his chance on the vault.
Qualified in the 8th spot. He's got a big vault planned here. Double front, he'll add that half twist at the end. Gives him another 0.4 of a point. That's called a Dragulescu, named after the great Marian Dragulescu, who invented this vault, did it first time. And one thing that's shocking, Dragulescu, Romanian gymnast. There are no Romanian male gymnasts at these World Championships.
That's wild.
Yes.
And they've had some great ones, for sure. Souza from Brazil, 32 years old. This is his 8th World Championships. His best all-around finish ever was 10th in 2022. So he is keeping that train rolling.
There's a world and an Olympic medalist right there, Mariano. Arthur Mariano from Brazil.
Cheering on his teammate. delegation seating. Always great to see the athletes who aren't in the all-around finals, both male and female, here cheering on their countrymen. Anthony Mansard for that high bar routine, 13.966.
Yeah, huge difficulty, 5.8. That's a big number.
Moves him into 4th place currently. As we see the standings, and it's Shinosuke and Bo Hung with those tremendous parallel bar and ring routines respectfully. They move into the top 2. Daiki Hashimoto into that 3rd spot halfway through this all-around final. All right, Tim, time to handicap this the second half, if you will. So obviously Hashimoto goes to rings. That's a weak event for him. We expected him to drop, but tremendous on the last 3. But so is Bo Hung in particular. So how do you handicap those two here as we head down the second half?
Well, he's got about a 4/10 of a point, Bo Hung does, over Hashimoto. 4/10 of a point lead. I would say if they both do what they're capable of doing, Bo Hung is going to remain out in front.
Ooh, controversial, Tim. I mean,
it's pretty much a toss-up at this point in time. Oka, who is the leader by, you know, almost 3/10 of a point, really struggled on both high bar and then disaster on floor in the qualifyings. I don't anticipate that happening. Certainly not on floor exercise. High bar, he has improved, you know, tremendously, upped his difficulty value and fell on a skill that he hasn't been competing for that long, so we'll see there.
I think the advantage for Bo Hung and Hashimoto in the second half is they still get to go to vault and parallel bars, which are very high scoring events for the men. Shinosuke's got to go to high bar and pommel horse, which tend to be a little bit lower scoring events. So even if he hits great, he's at a little bit of a disadvantage. Would you agree?
No, absolutely. Especially on pommel horse, his doesn't have the highest start score. And remember, okay, this score that he got on floor exercise day 1 was a 10.3. That's shocking. Had nearly a half a point in deductions.
Here we are in the 4th rotation of this men's all-around final. Tierno Diallo from Spain on the floor exercise.
Couple of steps on that. If you take a step forward and then bring your legs back together again, that's considered 1 step. If you step forward and bring the other leg to the first step leg, that's 2 steps.
Tierno sitting in 16th place halfway through this competition. Floor, pommel horse, and rings yet to go for him.
And that right there, he held it for the 2 seconds, but his leg needs to be higher to not receive a deduction on it. Dismount, very popular double pike somersault.
Diallo in his 6th World Championships did make the all-around final in 2023. Finished 20th there, so trying to improve on that. He's got 2 more to go. Here we go. Hashimoto on the vault. Trying to make up some ground that he lost in that last rotation, specifically on that ring routine.
Big vault here, though. He'll do the same one that we'll see from Zhang Bo Hung. It's a triple twist. And pretty darn good. Right down the middle, I would say. Just 1 step backward. It's a 3/10 step.
He liked it.
lot of gymnasts in the world can do the 2.5 twist, but there's just so few relative to the 2.5s that can pull that extra half turn around.
Angel Barajas from Colombia, 12th after the third rotation, halfway through, moving to parallel bars. His best event again, horizontal bar coming up in that 5th rotation. That is a showstopper.
He competed only 2 events in the Paris Olympic Games, parallel bars and high bar, and he has another shot to compete in the final on P-bars. Oh, wow, that was an incredible save. I don't know if he stayed on that single rail long enough, though. Such a hard routine. This young man is known for just doing the most amazing difficulty. On parallel bars, he has about 12 different dismounts. Actually can do a triple back off the end of the bars, a double twisting double somersault.
Did you ever think in the history of mankind someone do a triple back off the end of the parallel bars? That's a high bar dismount, Tim.
Yes, I did not.
Score from Diallo on floor exercise of 12.333, 14.466, Tim, for Hashimoto on vault.
Basically the same score that he got in qualifying.
Now Marinov, the athlete from Russia, competing as an independent neutral athlete here at these World Championships. Low score on still rings. But now it's time for vault. Land clean and you move up the standings here.
Oh, very nice. Same vault we just saw from Daike Hashimoto. I would say he was a little bit weaker form, but this is very nice job. Good in the air, though. 3 times around. Just a small little hop. I don't know. That was maybe just as good as Daike's.
It'll be interesting to see how that compares.
You got to remember that gymnastics is a judged sport. Daike has quite a reputation. He earned it.
Noe Seifert now just a 4-4. You see that difficulty score. Low start value here on vault.
Oh, but a gorgeous landing. Yeah, that's the kind of gymnastics he does. He's very precise in his gymnastics. I guess that's why they make watches, right? And,
really good ones, by the way.
Just exact on virtually everything. He's been fantastic.
13.733 for that effort. Puts him currently in the 2nd spot behind Hashimoto. However, quite a distance behind, 1.3 behind Daike Hashimoto as we see Zhang Bo Hung get ready. Can he hold the top spot? Scheduled to do the same vault Hashimoto did. It's a perfect opportunity for fans at home. Compare, you just saw it a couple moments ago. We also saw it from Marinov. Who does it better?
Very powerful. Just got to key in on that landing. Oh boy, and I would say he would have gotten the exact same score as Hashimoto, but he did that same thing we were talking about earlier. He took a step, looked like he had his balance, and then another one.
I was thinking the exact same thing. I was about to say same vault, and then he gave away that extra step. Barajas, nice score for him on the parallel bars, breaks the 14.2, so moving up, his best event yet to go. Shitong from China now moves over to the parallel bars. Chinese gymnasts always have been absolutely putting on a clinic on this event, the best in the world. Zhao Jing Yuan, you'll see him in the event finals on this event.
Oh, very nice start. That is a skill that's been upgraded, its difficulty value. So we are seeing more and more of them. A little bit of a leg separation. That's unusual. And this is kind of an old school routine. This type of an exercise was basically done a bunch of years ago, and some of the value was taken away. Well, they've given it back, and so you see these punishing skills that land on your upper arms. A little bit of a hop on that landing. Very strong routine. And if you think those pads do anything,
they don't do much.
No,
it's
they
almost
don't.
decoration. And I can attest, I did that skill at the beginning. You said the front upright double back. Mine didn't look at all like that. And it was much more punishing, if I'm going to be honest. Shinosuke, your leader at the halfway point. But now is where it gets very interesting. This is a tremendous event for him. He really needs to be almost perfect the rest of the way if he's going to hold on to that top spot and be on the top of the podium when this thing is over.
Well, he's the reigning Olympic champion on this event. And since then, he's made his routine a lot harder. Remember, did come off the bar.
Beautiful.
Oh, I believe it's right here. We'll see the skill. Yep, and he's got it today. Little bit of a form deduction. That was a laid out heck with a full twist. It's called a Lucan. Just so elegant. And right back to a handstand. Folks, that ain't easy. Dismount. Little bit of a hop forward, but he was so concerned he didn't want to be a one-hit wonder. No chance of that occurring.
I think he's let everybody know that that is not the case, as we see Bo Hung's score for that vault at 14.2. So Hashimoto does pick up about 2.5 tenths in that rotation, and that's a lot. That's big. Hashimoto just about a tenth behind Bo Hung currently, as we see Jesse Moore take to the pommel horse.
And let's see, he has a skill that he submitted recently that is named after him, and it is really tricky. And from what I'm seeing now, I don't think he's going to do it. Oh, no, and he's not.
Nice save there, though. He was definitely off.
He was a very solid gymnast, I'll tell you. Just needs a little bit more refinement, but he has a lot of the qualities you need to be very top of the line, that's for sure.
Making his World Championship debut, 21st in the all-around in Paris, and absolutely going to blow that finish out of the water. He's got rings and vault, 2 events. Generally, you don't see a lot of mistakes on those events. You would think that standing is going to move up a lot. 14.4 for Shinosuke. That is big. That'll keep him in that top spot.
Yeah, that is a gigantic number on high bar.
That would be a top 3 score at these World Championships on that event. Meszaros now from Hungary on floor exercise.
Very classy gymnast. It's good presence on the floor, and that's a veteran right there. That's so easy to second guess and say, I should take a little step, a little hop, but he was so patient with it. And once again there. These are the best landings I've seen on floor exercise for this competition.
And he is a veteran. 5th World Championships for Meszaros. 11th at the 2023 World Championships in the all-around. So hoping to improve on that.
Not a bad position. May have come out of that unscathed.
Oh, and you could tell on takeoff. I was wondering if he'd keep it in bounds. He did not.
1/10 of a point for 1 foot out of bounds. 3 if both of them. Oh boy, except for that one big step on the second to last pass. Some great tumbling and some great landings.
Really clean gymnastics. 24 years old, obviously a veteran, but a lot of world championships for only being 24,
Yeah.
honestly.
Fights for that landing. Click those heels together. Good job.
Jesse Moore, 13.633 for that effort on pommel horse. A couple more to go for him. Stay over on the floor exercise, Anthony Mansard from France. Looking for a career all-around finish for him as well.
The silver medalist on parallel bars on the World Championships in Belgium in 2023.
Couple of bounding steps forward. That was a triple twist down the side. It's become very popular since the new rules have come out. My guess is before the rule changes, he dismounted with that. That is unallowed at this point in time. You cannot do a twisting skill. It must be a double flipping backward element. And I'm betting double pike, John.
That's where you're putting your money?
That is where I'm putting it.
I would never bet against Tim, but I should have.
You should have.
Full twist and double back. Mansard finished 4th all around at the European Championships here in 2025, but I got to think a top 10 finish for him here would be the biggest accomplishment of his young career.
Nice double layout. That's another skill that enjoyed a 1/10 of a point bump in difficulty up.
Kim Tonskinen, right hand to your screen. Her husband, Juha, coaches at Michigan, coaches Frederick Richard, American great gymnast, Olympian, Olympic bronze medalist. Their daughter competing here in the women's all-around finals, Kaya. Caio Souza from Brazil now over on the parallel bars, 10th after the previous rotation.
This guy is just a giant block of muscle from head to toe. Nicely done. Does good gymnastics, just some of his body positions aren't as pristine as you'd like to see.
He liked it.
Yeah, no, he's a great gymnast. Has done a lot, but just some of the uber basics, like the perfect handstand position and body positions when he's even in the air, sometimes look a little bit awkward, but he's done a great job.
13.833 for that routine on the parallel bar. Said he started out in karate, Tim, but had no one to fight. So he moved to gymnastics. And here are your standings after the 4th rotation. Hey, we headlined them. Those top 3 right there. The last 2 world all-around champions and the last Olympic all-around champion look like they are going to come down the stretch seeking gold.
But the score is unchanged, so no new score.
All right, Tim, let's handicap as we head into the 5th rotation. Anything change in your opinion? Shinosuke still in that top spot, maybe not totally shocking given he's capable on the horizontal bar, but we weren't sure if he delivered. He did. So now what, 6/10 separates 1st and 3rd. Then you have a big drop off after that from Shitong from China.
Well, the 2 things for Shinosuke is that he goes to floor exercise where he scored a 10 in the qualifying.
I thought a 10 was perfect.
Yeah, it used to be. It used to be a long, long time ago. And then he goes to pommel horse, which he's good at, but it is not a huge scoring event. Whereas Daike and Zhang Boheng both go to super high scoring events, and they're both great on both of them.
So is it fair to say for Shinosuke to win gold here, both Zhang Boheng and Daiki Hashimoto have to have an error? If those 2 hit as well as they're capable of or close to it, it's going to be one of those 2 guys for gold.
I would say
over Shinosuke.
I would say, so you take a look at Hashimoto, and he had a 14.266 on parallel bars and a 14.4 on high bar. And then you look over at what Oka had in the qualifying round, and he was nowhere near that because of the huge mistake on floor exercise. But his pommel horse, where he didn't fall, he scored only a 13.133. So that's a point less right there.
Yeah.
And then he's got to have a much better day on floor exercise.
And floor, it's certainly not as easy to score in the 14s as it is on parallel bars, for example, where Boheng and Hashimoto are heading next.
Absolutely.
Here we are in the 5th rotation, starting off on the high bar with Shitong from China. Currently sitting in that 4th spot. Quite a distance, though, however, from the top 3. Going to need some help if he wants to move into the medal spot.
Really nice combination. Well done. Big release right here.
Whew. Wow, he caught that at the bottom of the bar. He was almost in the judge's lap.
This is a great routine so far. Double-double laid out. Hop forward. Going to be a very good score. 14.133 is what he got in qualifying.
So here we go. The rubber hits the road. Daiki Hashimoto, the first of our top 3 currently to go here in the 5th rotation. On parallel bars, this is going to come down to the little things. The steps on landings, slight form breaks. Who is going to come out with gold? 2 events to go to decide.
You know, we really haven't talked about it. You know, Japan.
Oh, wow, what a save.
Yeah, that was a good struggle. Japan won the team goal, which was the primary motivation for all of the athletes, but that Hashimoto came away with no individual medals.
That's shocking to me.
Whereas the Olympic Games in Tokyo, he got 2 of them, the all-around and high bar.
Tell you what, this is good, but he's just a tiny bit off, especially on all those skills in the first half. Got a stick.
There you go. Pretty good body position on the landing as well, but I agree with you, John. He opened up a couple of spots where it looked just a little clunky.
Clunky. That's the word I would use too. His clunky though is my perfect. Beyond perfect. Chatong 14.433. Hey,
Massive number.
massive number. If anybody in the top 3 wants to open the door, I bet you he would not have a problem stepping through it. Shinosuke Oka now. This is the first big hurdle. You said it, Tim. A 10 on this event in the qualifications. And if you're just joining us and you've been stepping away for the last couple of decades, a 10 is not good in gymnastics anymore.
Yeah, he is looking to be certainly in the upper 13s.
But here's the thing, he's got to not only improve, he's got to be almost perfect the rest of the way to catch his teammate and or Zhang Bohong. Or I should say stay ahead of them. He's ahead of them now, yeah. But
nice flare work. That's called a mana. Done very well.
Beautiful.
Maximum time of 70 seconds on floor exercise.
Oh, and you could see it right away.
And once again, floor was his nemesis. Day 1 in qualification, he'll lose the value of that skill and at least 1 point off. Hop on the landing, but that's surprising right there.
And you could see it right away, Tim. I know you saw it over-rotated going into that last skill of the pass.
Just too far over. His feet barely can touch the ground. And really, there is no way, you can't do anything. If there's
no saving that.
Yes.
And you could, actually when he punched, it almost looked like his ankle rolled a little bit, which can be a danger on those bounding skills. 14.433 from Daiki Hashimoto on the parallel bars. Very tight between Hashimoto and Zhang Bohong coming into this 5th rotation. Teammate Shinosuke Oka was in the lead. He will not be anymore after that floor routine.
Yeah, I would say that, you know, with what we've seen from Chatong, he has knocked himself not just out of first place, but off the podium.
Christopher Meszaros from Hungary now sits in the top 10. Comes to the pommel horse.
And a former Hungarian champion on pommel horse. Virtually every gymnast in the world, even 25 or more years later, still does his move. This guy's going to be the one person that doesn't. Right here, it's called a Magyar. He's got a bunch of them named after him. Dismount. Nicely done.
Very nicely done. Trying to stay in that top 10. Tim, you had a skill on pommel horse at one point, right?
Yeah, but then they took it away.
Well, that's my point was going to be, you got a guy here who's for decades,
yeah.
Magyar has had his skill. You and I both have skills named after us that no one's ever going to do again. But, you know, that's all right.
Yeah, and I said 25 years, and that's showing my age because it's basically 40 years.
It's been a long time. Jesse Moore on rings for Australia now.
Let's go, Bobby, come on.
So 2-second hold. Pretty good. He kind of dipped a little bit. you have to be absolutely stationary for a full 2 seconds.
And you got to be perfectly flat. Looked like he was a little high, I think.
Oh, and that is a very big error. You know, it's not his best event, certainly, but
you know, with vault, finishing on vault, a high-scoring event, you think get through rings clean, and you got a shot at the top 10, but that handstand certainly opened the door. Well, it wasn't a perfect 10, but it was an 11.866 for Shinosuke. Unfortunate for him, and that drops him currently all the way into the 4th spot. Devastating rotation for the Olympic all-around champion.
Yeah, he had looked great today, though. Has been dealing with some back issues.
So keep in mind, Hashimoto a 14.433 for his parallel bar routine. Let's call it almost a virtual tie between Zhang Bohong and Hashimoto coming into this rotation. So better than that will move him potentially into the lead. Again, 14.433 for Hashimoto.
Oh boy, and that's a mistake right there. Supposed to do that full spin down from 1 bar. He will lose some difficulty skills. Points, I should say. That looked like he could have fought for a little bit longer. Could have been a strategic decision, saying, they're gonna take more if I stay in this 1 bar handstand and struggle a little bit. So, and I don't know exactly. Hop on the landing,
and that head dipped down into the area of his shin bones. You got to think a 3/10 for that as well.
No way should he place anywhere near what we just saw Hashimoto get. And you know, the rivalry between these two guys is immense.
13.666 for Meszaros. He will stay in that top 10, 6th place currently. Tremendous day for him. He should be happy. So back over to the horizontal bar. Caio Souza having himself a day as well. Get through this event, and great shot at a top 10 finish as well. His best finish again on the all-around was 2022, 10th there.
Combination. They make it look so easy, but it is anything but. And there's another update to the rules that is encouraging that skill. It's called a Ginger. Triple back. Bam! Wow! Gymnastics 101, Johnny, fly high and stick the landing.
I mean, it's 2025, Tim. Aren't we in a 1,000 level class by now? It's still 101.
I'm a little slow.
You know what is funny? You had said, as we see the 13.866, you had said some of these skills, you know, they make it look so easy now. And I was thinking very similarly. I mean, the routine he just did right there, those skills. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, there would have been a 30-minute special breaking down this routine because it's so absurd to think about what they can do as, and that 13.933 as we shift gears to the score for Zhang Bohong. That's devastating.
Absolutely.
And he gave up a massive amount right there to Daiki Hashimoto. So he's in 2nd place, about 0.4 of a point behind Hashimoto. Nohe Seifert from Switzerland, 5th place coming into this. Now with the mistakes from Shinosuke. It seems a little bit jumbled there for that bronze medal, and I dare say, is anybody really out of it here? A number of athletes could claim that spot. Wow, that was absolute magic. Sorcery for him to stay on the bars right there.
Yeah, it's like at the start of that, I was like, oh, he's done.
Living on the edge.
Just the dismount, double front, small little hop. What a championships for this young man.
I'm loving it. Again, you said it. He's not the headliner, but man, he is a grinder. And there is something to be said. And could there be a place on the podium?
Wow, that would be something.
And talk about a showstopper. Angel Barajas sits in the top 10 currently, but this right here, everybody who knows anything about gymnastics in Indonesia Arena right now, all eyes are on this corner of the venue.
So here we go. Now check this out. If he does all this in a row, now, unbelievable.
So hard.
And he's not done. Capable of connecting.
Wow, that was fingertips.
So he sometimes does that first release right into that one without the extra giant. I'm just so sad that he is not, at this point, in finals. First reserve on high bar. Silver medalist in Tokyo. Actually had the highest difficulty value of anyone. Tied Oka and lost out to him because of a lower execution score. This kid has a future.
And that 14.6, that very likely would have been a medal winning routine if he'd been in the high bar finals. 11.066 for Jesse Moore, devastating ring routine for him. That handstand cost him, moves him outside of that top 10. Daniel Marinov now an opportunity for this young man. Can he take advantage of some of the mistakes of the athletes in front of him?
Very clean on this apparatus. Just perfect lines. And when he does something, it looks easy. And that's exactly what you're trying to do. You want to do the toughest stuff in the world, and you want to make it look like, yeah, nothing. Full twisting double. Wow, big time. Really like this young man's gymnastics, and I think he's got a good future.
Well, he loves snowboarding and he writes poetry. Well, that was poetry in motion right there. Beautiful parallel bar routine from Marinov. One more rotation to go here in these men's all-around finals as we finish up this fifth rotation. There's the score for Marinov. Wow, a 14.7 puts him in 6th place.
Yeah, 8.8 execution score on P-bars. That's doing pretty good.
That is doing tremendous. Shitong from China is in that 3rd spot, but not out of the question. Even going down to that 6th spot where Marinov is, there's a bit of a distance, but not insurmountable. I feel like that bronze medal position still very much in flux. Top dog right now, Daiki Hashimoto from Japan. 4/10, just under 4/10 ahead of Jangbo Hong. 14.066 for Seifert, moves him into 4th place. 5/10, Tim, out of that bronze medal. Did you have that on your bingo card before these World Championships?
I did not.
Noe Seifert. world all-around medalist, that could very well be the case, but he's going to have to chase down Shatong, who is in that spot right now, in that third spot. So going into the 6th and final rotation, the top 2 gymnasts, obviously Daiki Hashimoto and Zhang Boheng, go to high bar. 4/10 advantage to Hashimoto as we see the standings here. Shatong rather, in that third spot. You want to handicap for me these high bar routines, Tim, from the top 2 guys?
Well, the thing about it is Daiki has a much higher difficulty value if they do what they did day 1.
So that is your standings after 5, the final rotation coming up. All right, 6th and final rotation coming up. Top 2 guys will be going on high bar. Zhang Boheng will be the 2nd gymnast to go. Daiki Hashimoto in the anchor spot. He's familiar with that anchor spot. He's gone last before in so many pressure situations. Can he be phased? He's going to have to make a mistake, though, it seems like, for Zhang Boheng to catch him.
Yeah, at this point in time, and what I'm curious about is if Zhang Boheng can do a more difficult high bar routine than he showed in qualification. And if Daiki will do a less difficult one, because like I said, he's got a 6/10 buffer difficulty-wise comparative to what they did in the qualifying rounds, and he's got the lead.
Do you think Hashimoto is going to water down a high bar? Is that what you're saying, Tim?
I'm not saying
the big man, the Olympic champ, going to water down. I don't know. I don't know if it's in his DNA.
Well, he gets to see his competitor go first, so that's a big deal.
Shatong from China sits in the 3rd spot. He's 1.2 behind Hashimoto, so that is going to take a fall from Hashimoto for Tong to catch him. Tong on floor exercise. But after that, it's going to be real interesting for that bronze medal.
And I'll tell you what, John, I have never seen a men's meet that is going to finish this quickly. They changed the format. Usually they do it differently. 6 athletes on each event. There are only 4 athletes competing, and endurance, it's a factor here. Here we go. Oh boy. And that is too bad. A fall, of course, is 1 full point. You have 30 seconds to remount the bar after you stand up.
And that's too bad. He was in the 6th spot. Not out of the question to move into that bronze medal position, but it almost certainly is now.
And he's got to make a strategy decision. Does he repeat the element? He does not. So he'll lose difficulty value as well. Nice in-bar Stalter. Very nice finish, but that's too bad for him. But he does have a bright future.
Absolutely, he's got a good look to him, great execution. Might need a little more difficulty in that ring routine, but other than that, he's got some good stuff. Kyle Souza now takes his turn on floor exercise. He is in a position to have a career finish here as well.
Good fight on that landing, only a small little hop. A little bit of pommel horse on the floor. That right there, that's a little bit high. His head should be closer to the ground. They are very strict about that. Two and a half twists to a layout, almost a compulsory pass. Virtually every gymnast, from the good to the phenomenal, have that in their routine.
Oh, no! And he had that, looking for the landing a little bit too much, Tim.
Yeah, a little bit, but I'm going to go back to, you know, this is a faster rotation than any of these guys have probably ever competed. And finishing up on floor exercise, it's the most difficult for endurance. Could have played a factor.
That was devastating because he was sitting on the cusp of his best ever finish in the all-around at a World Championships or an Olympic Games. Previously, it was 10th. And unfortunately, that's probably going to move him out of the top 10. 12.233 for Marinoff.
You know, and it's so hard to say how many times Daike, Hashimoto, and Zhang Bohang have gone back and forth.
And here is another one, because this is where a lot of the story will be told. Can Zhang Bohang hit a perfect tie bar routine? It feels like he has to put any kind of pressure on Hashimoto, who currently has a 4/10 lead.
First huge test done extremely well.
Oh, and that was close to the bar.
Wow. And he survived on that.
And literally, I thought his face was going to meet the bar up close and personal.
There we go. Another big release. Nicely done. Had an issue on this at the Olympic Games.
Gotta stick it. Has to stick it.
Oh. And I would say that was a 3/10 step. Excellent job. Very close to the bar on that one major skill. This was gorgeous, though. Full twisting double laid out over the bar. Cassina.
Kyle Souza finishes with a 12.366 for that floor exercise routine. Currently puts him in the 3rd spot, but a lot of athletes yet to go here in the 6th and final rotation. Shinosuke Oka, devastating performance on the floor exercise for the 2nd day in a row here at these World Championships. Had a terrible routine in the qualifications, trying to finish here on a strong note.
No new score for the Finnish athletes for Axeli Karpsinen.
And I don't know exactly what he's doing, because I believe he broke up a couple of skills there. His flare up to a handstand and back down was excellent.
Beautiful, though, here.
Yeah, it was a great routine.
Did he step on that landing,
He
Tim?
did. That's against the law.
That is against gymnastics law.
But in the beginning, he did 2 skills that I thought he was supposed to combine them. It'll just cost him a little difficulty.
13.333 to finish up for Shinosuke on the pommel horse. That currently puts him into the top spot. We saw some mistakes from Kyle Souza and Daniel Marinoff so far in this rotation. So it's not over till it's over for that bronze medal. 14.3 for Zhang Bohong.
And he did do a harder routine, 2/10 harder than he did in the qualification.
He's currently in third place in the ranking, third position. Next on horizontal bar, Switzerland's Noel Seifert.
So now on the horizontal bar, bronze medal. Certainly a possibility here for Noé Seifert. No Swiss gymnast has been on the podium at a World Championships since Tim was in college in 1950. Just kidding. It's been a long time. 1950 since the Swiss gymnast has gotten a medal in the all-around at World Championships.
Great. Oh, so pretty. I love that skill. Not done that often.
Go. Allez. Allez, Noé. Allez, remix. Hey.
Just put it to your feet, triple back, small hop.
Gotta be thrilled, though. Coach is clearly excited.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it holds up. Shitong from China, the biggest concern for Zoe Seifert on holding on to that, or getting a hold of, rather, that bronze medal. Angel Angel Barajas now finishing up his competition on floor exercise.
What he does here is so much more impressive. Noel Seifert, second place after the qualifications. And now he just confirms his status as one of the favorites in the final.
Oh, wow, that looked very awkward on that landing.
Yeah, very difficult, somewhat unusual. You see a lot of double twisting, double somersaults. He adds an extra half turn at the end of it. Talking about his medal that he won for Colombia. He said, I know I did a good job. I wrote Colombia into the history books and helped push it forward in gymnastics, which has been a lifelong goal for me.
I'll tell you what, if he can stay healthy, keep consistent training, he is going to write a lot more stories for Colombian gymnastics, as he may be one of the most fun gymnasts to watch. Certainly got a little bit of work to do to refine and get that consistency, Tim, but it's going to be an interesting few years to watch Angel Barajas.
And his name kind of goes with Los Angeles, doesn't it?
Ooh, prophetic. Meszaros now for Hungary finishes on the still rings.
No. Not yet. The score of the Finnish athlete is unchanged after that inquiry.
Nice press to a handstand. Don't get quite enough a reward for that in my book.
The all-around Olympic silver medalist from Paris.
Double-double, small hop. Very good, just needs a little more firepower in that routine.
Nice day for the 24-year-old, finished 9th in the all-around at the Olympics. His Olympic debut at 12.866 currently puts him in 4th position. What's it going to be? effort. It's a 14.1. And that is tremendous. Currently puts him in the second spot. In my opinion, really only one man can knock him out of a medal podium, and that's Shatong. But right now, all eyes are on Daiki Hashimoto. Got to stay on the bar, but it doesn't have to be tremendous, Tim. Better than a 13.902. And he is your world all-around champion for the third time in a row.
Changed his routine construction. That right there, a little bit low, and now
a bit low.
He does it. That's his riskiest combination. Not holding back. And as you said, John, no way is he going to do less than he's capable of. Could have taken that second Tkachev out. He's got it.
Daiki Hashimoto, once again, you are the best male gymnast on planet Earth, and he gets it done. And it's got to feel good.
And that is 3 in a row for him. The only other male gymnast that has achieved such a feat, the greatest of all time, Kohei Uchimura.
Wow, tremendous. Disappointing performance for him in the all-around competition in Paris last year. You know he wanted that all-around gold, didn't get it. But he is back on the podium at the top here at the World Championship. Saw that 12.8 for Barajas to finish off his day. Nice job from him. Now the rest of the drama. Right here, Shatong. He was in third place after that 5th rotation. We saw Noe Seifert put up a 14.1 for his high bar routine. This is going to have to be a hit routine, Tim, and you can't have too many of those if he wants to stay in that bronze medal position.
Stayed inbounds, though, dangerously close to being out of the area with both feet, which would be 3/10 deduction. Oh my gosh. His easiest pass, and I don't know, I think he's going to lose about a half of a point on a double full down the side. I would have to say that that was a complete mental error. Just thinking about what was to come. Back on track, though.
Oh, and there's no way. I think he just gave away that bronze medal, Tim.
That is shocking. And, you know, he took, I don't know, I think that was 3 little steps. This pass fine, 2.5 to a layout. Sticks it. Every time you move your feet, it's a deduction. And I think there were 3 of them at the end there. And in the middle, that simple pass that he's been able to do since he was probably 8 years old.
Looking for the official score here for Daiki Hashimoto. Haven't seen it yet.
Beautiful. Reverse heck with a full twist. First one to do that, guy named Valery Lukin.
One of my gymnastics idols.
Yeah, great Soviet gymnast, and his daughter, of course, Nastya Lukin, Olympic all-around champion in 2008.
His gymnastics is outstanding, but his ability to focus and mentally just stay in the moment,
that's
as good as it's next level.
Yeah.
As good as I've seen, other than Kohei Uchimura, probably.
Yep. Don't look, buddy. You're not going to like it.
Yeah, I don't
You
think
are
it's
not
going to be
gonna
what
like it.
Shatong wants. It is a 13.066, and you can see the 3 next to his name, and you'd think he's got the bronze, but here's the catch is Daiki Hashimoto's score has not come in yet. So I do believe unofficially Noe Seifert, obviously got to wait for the score, is going to get the bronze, and there it does come in a massive 14.7, Tim.
Well, good for him. Many consider him the best in the world for a bunch of years. Had a disappointing Olympic Games. They came away with the gold in the team, but he came up short individually. How about this young man? Hope Suisse. Unbelievable.
What a performance. Historic for Swiss gymnastics. 75 years it has been since they have had an athlete on that all-around podium at a World Championships. Shinosuke Oka, didn't happen at Florentine. Disrailed his opportunity to be on the medal podium in the all-around, certainly to take his countrymen on for that gold medal.
And this guy, it's not lucky. He was second in the qualifying. Everybody competing, he was second again. That's silver medal.
So not a one-hit wonder.
Absolutely.
Hashimoto gets the gold, Jang Bo-hung gets the silver, Seifert gets the bronze, and it's Shatong who might be saying what if, because he ends up less than 5.5 tenths out of third, and you said that last landing, Tim, I heard you say that was probably 5 tenths, and there was a lot of landings like that in that routine. Cleans up one of those,
yes.
Sticks one more landing on floor, and he's probably the world all-around bronze medalist. It's crazy to think he's just got 3 more world championships to win in a row to match Kohei Uchimura. That feat of 6,
yeah,
in a time when there's so much parity really in men's gymnastics. It's not like he's so much better. He's winning these things close in his time. And same with Daiki Hashimoto, when there's so much difficulty and a fall and a mistake can come anywhere. To do it over and over is absolutely remarkable. As we look at the standings, Barajas gets in that 6, Marinov, Meszaros. Congratulations, Daiki Hashimoto. It's 3 in a row for the great champion, Jang Bo-hung in 2nd, and Seifert in 3rd. Well, everybody's tweeting. I saw Daiki win his 3rd in a row right now. All the Japanese fans in the crowd.
Yeah.
But Seifert, you know, again, big story at the top for gold. But Seifert, this bronze medal just grinded away all day long.
Oh, shit, I said he got a silver.
You did, but I corrected you. He got a bronze.
He did. Yeah, they didn't put in Hashimoto's score there. They had it. I don't know what they were waiting on.
Yeah, that was a long waiting game, which definitely it kind of made it hard to follow those standings. But you know, that's an epitome of Seifert, that vault.
Yeah.
The double twist, lower difficulty, but perfectly executed, and that's why he's on the podium right now. Zhang Bohong, unfortunately, little things like that kept him off the top of the podium.
He is a great gymnast. Doesn't look quite at the level that he was prior to making mistakes in Paris, but
I agree. But Daiki Hashimoto, he looks better than he looked in Paris, I think. He looked like he was just a little, I don't know if injured is the right word, but just a little beat up maybe, and he looked stronger, looked more in control here.
yeah, mentally, I thought after Paris, he almost looked to me like maybe I'm gonna be done, which would be unusual for, you know, a Japanese gymnast with such success, but he just looked like he was so defeated.
Shinosuke Oka, unfortunately, doesn't get onto that podium again for Japan. Earlier, we brought you news surrounding the Indonesian government's refusal to grant visas for the Israeli gymnasts who had earned a spot here. Just after 8 a.m. Eastern Time, the IOC said, quote, in order to avoid similar situations in the future, the executive board has decided in part that Indonesia won't be considered to host any Olympics or related event until access to the country for all participating nationalities is guaranteed, and has recommended to all international federations not to host Olympic qualifying events in any country that can't guarantee access for all participating nationalities. NBCSports.com will have more. Well, the men's all-around finals, the first medal to be awarded at these World Championships. Women's all-around obviously coming up. But it was a fantastic final. A lot of great routines, but can only be one dream routine. It is the Sattva presents the dream routine, Tim, and I don't even need to tell you which one this is.
I would guess it's going to be Daiki Hashimoto on high bar. Unbelievable. Could have watered down the exercise, could have done something easier, but no way. He is one of the most competitive people. He's obviously physically talented, but mentally dealing with pressure, no one better.
Tremendous performance from Daiki Hashimoto. Unfortunately, Asher Hong not here. It would have been great to see where Asher Hong could have fit into these all-around standings. Asher Hong from the United States, obviously injured in training, could not compete here in the all-around finals. He is the U.S. champion. He'll have to do it next year, but right now, Daiki Hashimoto, Zhang Bohong, and Noe Seifert, surprise, rounds out the top three. So that does it for the men's all-around competition. The USA Gymnastics Foundation raises funds to inspire world-class achievement at all levels of the sport and life. Please visit usagymfoundation.org to learn more. And don't forget, tune in tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Eastern for the women's all-around finals on Peacock. For Tim Daggett and our entire NBC Sports crew, I'm John Roethlisberger saying so long from the World Gymnastics Championships.